Hey, it's Square Coinman here, and today's video is going to be about sheeps and a little bit about money, but it has nothing to do with coins. I'm going to talk about a charity project I've been involved in Namibia. And as you can see on the picture, Namibia is absolutely not green. There is only one little spot that is a bit green around here, and the rest is desert and arid land. So in 2016 I got an idea. I wanted to see if I could do a charity project in Namibia. And for me it was important that it, first of all, was sustainable. It should elevate poverty. It should make sense, because one can give people food, but then the next week they're still hungry. So I wanted to have something that would be able to run in a long time. It also had to be cheap. Now, what I did, I figured out that if I asked my co-workers and myself to donate 2 Danish crowns for each hour they would work, and my co-workers are casual workers, they only work sometimes. So a person that would work one day, 8 hours, would contribute 16 crowns. Now 2 crowns is 0.26 euro or 0.31 US dollars. And the project I chose to work with or came up with was with sheeps in arid land. Sheeps are actually good, because if you have the right sheeps, caracoles or sokara, they will push the seeds into the ground. They bite the grass, they don't pull it out. You can give people cows, but the cows will pretty much destroy the land because they remove the roots as well. Now here you can see 2 farm workers with sokara sheeps, and here we have the first person that got sheep from us. This is a farm worker. He works at a farm, and what we did was we bought him 12 sheep, and the first one he named Michael because that's my name, and he thought that was funny or nice. Anyway, you can see he looks quite happy. What this means is that his personal income would be improved quite a lot, roughly 35%. And here we have another recipient of sheep. As you see, he takes care of a big flock of sheep, but 12 of the sheep are his. And for him, it meant that 35% of his income would go up, because the lambs that are born, either he can keep them in his own flock, or he can sell the meat or the wool. Now I will come back to the wool, because the wool is a bit problematic. And here he's standing with his first skin that he's going to sell, and I show you later I bought that one. Continue. Now, after we started with the first few farm workers that got sheep, the idea spread along other farmers in Namibia. As it turned out, when you give people some sheep for themselves, they start taking care of the flock much better. Any farm worker that would take care of sheep would normally have a loss. Wild animals would take them, some animals would get sick. But people who receive their own sheep and they go among the big herd, they started taking care of them much better. Now here are some other people that got sheep, and here's a woman on the left side, and on the right side is a farm worker that got sheep, and here's another woman that got sheep, and here is another man with his sheep, and here is another one. Now, talking about the wool, what happens is that the wool is quite hard, and therefore it is not a product that easily can be made into sweaters or something like that. So when I started talking with my partner in Namibia, we discussed the wool quite a lot, and we decided that the second project should be with regards to the wool. And the reason why we didn't continue with the first project was because it was a huge success. Many other farms that noticed the difference and heard about the success stories decided themselves to give their farm workers sheep. So there's no reason for us to continue giving sheep. We did give a little bit of money to some farms where the farm owner didn't have enough money to give 10 sheep away, and we would then supplement a little bit. It also spread to other areas. There is one farm where they have goats, and he gave his guys 10 goats each. And there's also a cattle farmer who used the same principle where he gave a few cows to his herders. All of them have the same effect. When you give people a few of the animals, they will take care of all the animals much better. Now, so when I had a discussion with them about the wool, I asked what would happen with them. And they said, okay, well, what happened in reality is that they throw it in one big bunch and then they put a few liters of petrol over it and they burn it, because they get so little money for it that the transport is not viable. It's too expensive to actually bring it away. I didn't like that, so I started looking for some options, and I found out that in Europe there are plenty of sheep pellets. Now, pellets, pretty much it's composted wool that are made into pellets, and then you give that to your plants, and it seems to work very well. So I suggested that we would do a similar project in Namibia, where we would gather the wool and see if we could use it as a fertilizer. When we were working on this, the German Foreign Ministry was very much interested in helping in Namibia, and they liked this part really a lot. So what they did was they took the wool and they sent it to the Humboldt University in Berlin, who is currently investigating if it's possible to do this. Now, due to the coronavirus, transport has been very difficult, but so far it looks very positive. So this might be another way where the farmers can earn some money. Let's continue. The next problem they asked help with was inbreeding. Now, let me try to explain what happens. First of all, there are many small community farms where a farmer might have 10, 15 animals, and he might have one ram. Now, I made a drawing here. Let's see if this is the ram, and these are the sheep he starts with. And this ram will have sex with all these. Out of these, we will have new sheep, and this ram will then have sex with them as well. Now, that pretty much means that this one has sex with his daughters. They will get children, and this ram will then have sex with them as well. So he has sex with his granddaughters. And then, if he is still running around, he will have sex with them, which is our great-granddaughters. And by that time, he will get old, and he might still have sex with them, or the farmer might choose to keep a ram and replace this one. Now, the effect of that is, of course, really, really bad, because when you do that, you get a very simple gene pool, and the animals will become weaker and weaker. Now, this is a really big problem. And why is it a big problem? Well, if you look at the picture here, this is some people from the Habsburg family, and as you can see, they all have this jaw. Yeah, I think you can see it. And I think everybody, if you just think 5 minutes about it, it's like it's a really bad idea to have sex with your daughter and then with your granddaughter and your great-granddaughter. That is inbreeding in the worst level. Now, because farmers in Namibia are extremely poor, they cannot afford to have a new ram every year, because a new ram costs really a lot of money. That is one of the biggest costs they have by farming. It's an animal you use maybe 1 month, maybe 2 months a year, and you don't get anything out of it, except, of course, that it will help to get more sheep. So they asked if we could do something with that. And of course we could, because like I explained, I asked my co-workers to donate 2 crowns per hour they work. And over the years, pretty much everybody joined. Out of the 100 workers, 98 workers would say, oh, okay, 2 crowns per hour, sure, that's no problem. Because what you get out of it is that, of course, I would make a newsletter, but people would also feel good about it, because it's such a small amount that they were like, okay, I don't care. It's really, really a small amount. But if you have many people, it will become a big amount. Now let's continue with the ram. So I became the biggest ram owner in Namibia. Now let me explain that. First of all, here is our guy in Namibia, and he has the lucky number 3. He's at an auction, and he bought the rams. But because it was very difficult who should be the owner of all these rams, I decided that it was probably best if I was the owner and they would just take care of it. Our partners in Namibia take care of it. And honestly, I have no idea how many I have. I believe I have 23, but possibly I have 31. Now, here's a picture of a farm, and they have one of the rams visiting on the farm. And here are some of the other rams we bought. I could probably find 31 pictures of rams that we bought. Normally, if a farm has enough money, and they definitely don't have that every year, but every 3rd, 4th year, if they have enough money, they had a good year, they might go to an auction and buy a ram. And if they don't have enough money, which is quite often the case because of drought, then they would just keep on using the old ram or use one of the children. Now, I explained already why this is a bad idea. So this is the wrong picture at the wrong place, but here we see some farm workers, and here I'm standing together with some of my co-workers with a skin I bought, and that skin was bought from Rasta, the person at the second picture. Okay, so each farm can borrow a ram, and it doesn't matter if it's a communal farm, a white farm, a black farm, they all have the same problems. All of them can borrow one. Each year you will get a different ram, which means that very quickly the quality of the animals will be improved. Now, from the second year you borrow a ram, there will be a small contribution. And that's because after 4 or 5 years, the idea is that these contributions are enough to buy new rams. And each year you will have to put a deposit so that people don't run away with the ram or steal it or do something with it. Now, if you feel inspired or like this idea, just copy it. Keep your contributions small. It's much easier to convince your co-workers to give $0.50 or 15 cents or 5 cents per hour. It's the small amount actually enables you to convince many people to do this. Keep it related to your work sphere, so that the people working there, they feel, okay, hey, we're all car mechanics, we all give 5 cents per hour, and that money is actually used to help car mechanics in another country, either to get an education or to set up some workshops that can help people repair their tools. And cut out all the costs. Where by us, nobody gets a wages. We help people, but there's nobody that earns money on it. Okay, so thank you for watching. I would highly appreciate if you leave a comment, and until next time.